Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thomas Drives, and in this vlog I have the opportunity to do a quick review with the new Volkswagen Arteon RLine. Now I start off with a quick walk around review on the exterior and interior of the car, and then do a quick test drive, and then at the end of the video share my thoughts on a question: can the Arteon RLine punch above its weight class? Not only to the similarly priced Mercedes C300 and the BMW 320i, can it punch 50,000 ringgit more at the C300 and the 330i? Now more on that in this episode of Thomas Drives. Now if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get more content like this in the future. And with that, please enjoy this vlog. So let's start the review with the exterior walk around. I mean, you have to appreciate the shape and the design of the Arteon. So let's do it right now. Now, first and foremost, it's less of a sedan form, but it's a coupe, four-door coupe form. As you can see in the rear, the line that goes down there, right? And it's more akin to something like a 4 Series than actually a 3 Series, okay? So when VW announced they're going to launch this, I'm really excited actually, because while I love the 3 Series driving dynamics, it was a little bit too harsh with the no M adaptive suspension, just M Sports passive suspension. This one has DCC, and I think it will fare better in that perspective. We'll find out more on that. But back to the exterior. First of all, forget the front. What I really like about the RLine, the Arteon design, it's this strong line, these two lines, but the one that goes from the wheel arches here, that goes all the way back. Because over here, it humps out a little bit more. And it just makes the car look, the stance looks a bit more sporty and aggressive. I really like that. And if you really look from the side, you know, although it's not really, the wheels are actually the same, but it makes it feel that much more. There's an illusion to it. I really like it. The rear, I mean, it's not fancy, but you're getting a very high spec equipment over here. Look at the lights over here, right? The LED lights over here, and it has that sequential light when you signal it. The one that goes like whip, whip. I really like that. On the RLine in Malaysia, you have also some extra equipments like this one over here, so it makes it look a little bit more souped up. I'm not a big fan of this, I'll be honest, but you know, to each his own. In the rear, we have the quad pipes over here, which I suspect are not real pipes. Let's take a look. Oh my god, Volkswagen, are you kidding me? There is no quad pipes. In fact, the pipes is pointing downwards like this. Alright, just one pipe pointing downwards is an aesthetic thing. That does not win brownie points for me, but I mean, a bit disappointed. Oh well, small thing. And this is with the 4Motion, so as 4-wheel drive, the Haldex 4-wheel drive, which is great, especially with wet weather in Malaysia. We gotta check this out. I really like how we have frameless doors on the Arteon. Definitely a big one compared to the 3 Series and the C-Class. And I think that one plays to the heartstrings of people who want to be a little bit more cool, right? Now, before we go into the interior, exterior, you have the RLine over here as well, the R badge over here to let people know that it's RLine. This is not to be mistaken, it's not an R like a Golf R, okay, it's just an RLine, okay, that's important to note, and that should be something to be considered in the driving dynamics, okay. But in the front, as a first impression, I do think it's modern. It looks something that fits in this current scale of time, and it will look much more, it'll catch more attention than the 3 Series and the C-Class. I do really like the folding lines here, all the strong lines, 1, 2, 3. It really makes the front look, you know, like, it feels a bit Aston Martin-like. I think this is what I want to say though, because the way it flows downwards. Kudos, kudos. And for a price range like this, the car does look more expensive than its price suggests. And I think just by that virtue, the design really did its job well. So in the R-Line, you have all these black plastics all around. You know, you probably have to really take care of it and put ceramic coating on that, because you might look scratched up and all if you don't, and all the etching of the minerals. Sorry, just looking at it as an ownership point of view. And it's a clamshell bonnet as well. Let's take a look at the interior. Let's start with the rear seats, because it's a 4-door saloon and you probably expect some sort of practicality over here. So as we go in, you can the door, the entrance, actually, the door opens up almost to 90 degrees, and although it's a sloping coupe line, it actually has a decent opening size. Easy to get in, no fuss with the head. Actually, for my size, 5'7", so shouldn't be a problem. Now, this is my driving position, and I have plenty, ridiculous plenty leg space. So, you're not gonna miss leg space over here. Now, I don't quite like these seats from the rear seats because it does block quite a lot of the view. So I'm not a big fan of these seats over here. This is my personal point of view. But in the passenger, as a driver, actually, it's pretty comfortable. We have little things over here. Again, long-term ownership, I'm not sure, but I'm maybe a bit wary about this. Things, they might get loose and stuff like that. And you probably want to make sure you dress this leather well, or you coat the leather well, to make sure you don't leave scratches all over here. The rear seat is actually something that you wouldn't mind being chauffeured around in, on a long journey. Let's look at the armrest. We have 2 cup holders, and pretty straightforward. Doesn't feel as premium as a 3 Series or C-Class, as to be expected. Okay, but for the price you pay, I mean, this is quality built. You have this soft leather over here. You don't find any cheap plastics, except for, well, this is the part of the trim, but this is a nice feeling door handle. It's plastic, but it's wrapped in this, but it doesn't feel that cheap, so it's still okay, right? Only hard plastics comes down over here. But in general, most of the things you touch doesn't feel like an entry level. That's what I want to say. Alright, so rear seats pretty good. Let's go and check out the front before we go on test drive. I really like, at first when I look at the videos and the pictures, I didn't like this whole design, but after sitting in this for a while, I actually do like this strong lines around it. I really like it. Okay. Center console, very easy to use. This is what I like about big groups like VAG and BMW. They do spend a lot of money making great infotainment systems. So this one, Apple CarPlay, amazing, right? Gearbox, panel, everything, as usual. Got a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox. We'll find out more in the test drive later on. But it does come with this black plastic piano shiny thing, which I do have a qualm with this at times, because it gets easily scratched and it gets dirty easily. So again, if you're gonna own a car, again, I'm this detailing freak. You probably want to find a way to coat this. You can use some coatings actually on trims like this to make sure that it doesn't get scratched up. It feels like it's a good build quality. A bit flimsy over here, again, I'm not trying to expect it to be a BMW or C-Class and stuff, but it's decent. It doesn't feel super entry level. It feels nice, right? Oh, and this frameless mirror, I'm in love with it. Okay, so that's the interior exterior. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this car on a quick test drive, and what we're going to do is that I'm going to see if this car actually has an exhaust noise. I hope this car has a nice exhaust noise, although the exhaust looks like that. So I'm going to put you down and start the car and see what it sounds like. Okay, that was actually quite disappointing. I was expecting something like some gurgle or something. It's just nothing. But again, it's not a Golf R, it's not a Golf GTI. So hey, let's just hope the drive is better. All right. So let's jump right in and see how it goes. So here we go. let's start the test drive in comfort mode. Let me explain to you the context of this vlog or this test drive. I've owned the AMG C43, the W205 version, the pre-facelifted version, and I thought that was a great, compelling performance and daily package. So let's see how this one is in comparison to that. Now, I'm not going to first jump straight to compare to that, because that's like pushing 2 weight classes up, because this is more comparable, say, to 3 Series 330i or the C300, for example. So let's see from that area and then see if it does better. If yes, then let's see how it compares up to 2 weight class higher. So first impressions in driving around. You know, it's easy to drive. It's seamless. It feels, for now, it feels more front wheel driven than rear wheel driven, which is, you know, the rear wheel driven cars feels a bit more premium because of that. But that aside, it's not a big deal. Let's just see how it shows up in a bit more spirited driving. Can't do much of it anyways, because, you know, we're in the city. But we'll see. But it comes with 4-wheel drive. Now, I'll be honest, I have a little bit of a suspicion that this car might be not as good as I think it is. Now, I don't want to jinx it, because I had the Audi A5 as a review car before, and I'm always really worried about if Audi's A5's driving dynamics end up here. Because, okay, no offense Audi lovers, but the Audi A5, even though it had the Quattro, it just felt like it wants to understeer. It's just, the front feels heavy, and let's hope that doesn't show up over here. Yeah, we'll find out more in the in this driving review. But so far I'm going through some rough roads. There's a construction around, so roads are rough. Man, it tackles the bumps very, very well. Very impressed. Not super comfortable, but comfortable enough for a daily ride. Okay, so I'm slowly revving up, driving around. The steering actually feels quite intuitive. In fact, I would dare say it's better than a BMW, as on par with BMW 3 Series in terms of its directness. But it has an edge over it, because it has some sort. It feels that you can feel a bit of feedback. You know, most electronic steerings are numb, but it's actually not that bad, considering that even from the Mark V Golf GTI, that electronic steering was fantastic. So they're very good at it. Yeah. Easy. Yeah, look, I'm going through bumps and it feels okay. Yeah, but it does feel front wheel driven. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a bit front wheel driven. But it doesn't have, oh, that's the good news, it doesn't have that Audi that understeer, that the front feels heavy and lazy. It doesn't have it. So I'm happy to report that this car is void of that feature. Let's speed things up a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can put this into sports mode, right? And see how the engine behaves differently. So it should sharpen up throttle response. Going down the corner over here, it's a bit of a rough road. Oh man, that's good. Okay, the engine noise is almost oblivious. It makes a small rumble, but it does differentiate itself from the comfort mode, that's for sure. Okay, 4th gear, putting my foot down. Yeah, it does have a nice pull to it. I do appreciate that pull. Torquey from bottom to top. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually good. Definitely more powerful. You can feel the extra horsepower compared to, let's say, a 330i or C300 for sure. Is it night and day? Not really. There's a significance, but it's not night and day. Yeah. Okay. Now, the dual clutch gearbox is a bit. It's not like the GTI or the R, and it's acceptable because this is more of a saloon car than a performance model. So it's not as snappy as those models, as it should, because it's the RLine. It's not an R, it's an RLine. So it's acceptable, fast enough, but not lightning quick. So I'm pressing downshift. Yeah, it's not so sporty. It doesn't have that sporty, snappy feel. But can you still have fun with this car? Let's find out. Let's find out if you can have fun with this car over here. Alright, let's go into... You can feel the weight of the car. Yeah, definitely feel it. That's surprising. You know what I like about this? It doesn't have that. It doesn't have understeer. It handles really well. I'm thoroughly relieved that it steers better than my previous experiences with, you know, similar platforms, say Audis. It's really good. I'm happy to report that this is a better driving car than the Audi A5. Unbeknownst, because to the brand, VW should be, you know, lower. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with this. I'm really happy with this. Yeah. Okay, highway noise is actually quite minimal. Yeah, I would dare say that is more quiet than a C43. And a C-Class even. Yeah, the tire roar is quite minimum, even in sports mode. I don't hear a lot of wind roars. Yeah, this is very well done, Volkswagen. Very well done. I'm thoroughly impressed. Now, does it feel as solid as, say, a C-Class or a 3 Series? I don't think so. It doesn't feel like that. There's this solidness to it. It doesn't have that. Is it hugely noticeable? If you drive a lot of Continentals, you probably can feel it. But is it negligible? Yes, it's negligible. Yeah, it's negligible. But my impressions right now, with less than 10 minutes of driving, it's easy to drive, no fuss, as how a daily should be. Yeah, I do like it a lot. Let's see how this one fares in this corner over here. Okay. Yeah, 4-wheel drive kicks in, easy to steer. Yeah. I'm good. I want to. Hey guys, so it's been 2 days since I drove the Arteon RLine, and I thought it'd be a good time to give you a summary. You know, having some distance after driving the car, because you know, when you first drive the car, you feel like you know, it's shock and awe. It's like, wow, there's so much information coming in, and I'm a big believer that, you know, if you give yourself some distance, the more important points will stick. Let's do this summary, and let's do it in a perspective of comparing it with the C-Class and also the 3 Series, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Now, I know that the Arteon RLine's price is around 250,000 ringgit, and the real competitor in terms of price would be the 320i and also the C250. But I'm going to be a little bit naughty and see if we can actually pit this against a category that is a weight class above. You know, punching above its weight class. The C300 and the 330i, which is 50,000 odd ringgit more expensive than the Arteon. I'd like to start with the engine. Now, obviously, the engine has more horsepowers, more than just the power. The delivery, it's probably the best in this category over here. But what really impressed me about this engine is the way it revs and the way it builds power. I feel the engine is actually more revvable. Like it likes to rev a little bit more than the other two cars. The 330i's engine is really close, but I just feel the Volkswagen just makes very good 4-cylinder engines. Now let's move to something else which is very important in a keen driver's world: the steering. So the lock to lock is actually just one and a little bit more. So it's very easy to steer, and being a city car, that really helps. Now, some people might think that, oh, if it's lock to lock means that it's very sensitive to the steer. Actually not. And this is what Volkswagen do very well. It's the way they tune the car. And high speeds, it doesn't feel also like darty. It actually feels progressive in that steer. It's quite intuitive. So and yet it still have that short lock to lock. So that kind of shocks me. And in fact, I think in that department, the steering is actually really good. And as I mentioned in my on-day driving video, the steering feeling is actually, I would think, better than the 3 Series for sure. And then the 3 Series feels a little bit numb, and especially the soft steering just didn't do for me. In accuracy of the steering, the intuitiveness of the steering, the 3 Series wins. But Volkswagen is not far off, but the C-Class, of course, is I didn't quite like the steering. It just didn't feel so intuitive for me. So I would say the 3 Series is better, but not far away. And I like the fact that you have that small lock to lock. It's easy to drive around the city. So that's big kudos to the VW Arteon. Now let's go to the suspension and the driving. This is where I'm mighty impressed. I'm superbly impressed with the suspension. Now, given the 330i has M sport suspension, the passive setup, it is really stiff. And to give you a perspective, I used to drive an M235i, and that's an M Performance model, a coupe. I felt that passive setup, was more softer and more pliant than the 330i. The 330i is actually stiffer for me. And in fact, was almost like night and day. But no doubt the 330i handles really well because of the suspension and the way the front end points. But the Volkswagen Arteon, and this is something people don't talk about. Every time we talk about performance cars or talk about cars that can drive fast, we always look at the horsepowers. But something that's really important, especially in Malaysian roads, especially if you like traveling, especially like toge, the way a car takes rough roads can determine how fast you can drive or how confident you can drive on the rough roads. See, when your car is skipping on the rough roads, it's actually scary. So you have to slow down to accommodate for that. Where the Arteon and Volkswagen just does this so well. I don't know how to say this. The Golf GTI, the Golf Rs, the way it soaks up the rough roads is incredible. So the Arteon has the ability to do that. So I don't know how they do it, but they just do it well. And to give you some perspective, even in the sportier setting, in the sport mode in the DCC, it felt comfortable. For that, I think that the suspension setup for the Arteon is the most well balanced. The fourth thing, which I'm really impressed, is the gearbox. Now, I think the current model, W205, the G series, and also the Arteon, the Mercedes gearbox, I don't quite like it. It's a little bit hesitant at times. Not a big fan of that gearbox. The two obvious strong competitor is the ZF8-speed gearbox from the 3 Series, which is brilliant. It's so intuitive, it delivers well. I like that gearbox a lot. Now the Arteon RLine, the gearbox, they just improved it so much. On low speeds, no jerkiness, it's easy to drive. And on high speeds, as you're going up the rev range, up and down in the S mode, it's intuitive. So in that perspective, this gearbox it's very close. It's I would say as good as a ZF8-speed gearbox. It's not jerky. So the gearbox also is a big area as well that's very well in the Arteon for sure. Now, you're probably asking at this point, Thomas, you're speaking as if the Arteon is so incredible, then just forget about the C-Class and the 3 Series. Then this is where I have to differ a little bit. I think that yes, it will entice a lot of people who are considering the C-Class and also the 3 Series to buy the Arteon, but I don't think it will completely rob the market from the C-Class and the 3 Series in that perspective. Even the Volvo S60. See, the C-Class and the 330i, even the S60 has a more classic sedan proportion, so some people want to have that. The Arteon is breaking those rules. It's like a 4-door coupe. frameless window and that design and everything. The people that will buy this car, people who want something a little bit more special, maybe someone who's a bit more of a keen driver as well. I think that in a lot of objective comparison, the Arteon RLine is, it's hard to look past the RLine. The RLine is such a well put together package. But let's come to another important point. Is the Arteon RLine a fun car? The answer is no. The Arteon RLine is more competent than fun, in my opinion. And because it's not an Arteon R, it's an RLine, so it should behave more like a passenger car and not as edgy as a full-on R. And it's not a bad thing. See, think of it like this. If your main dish is a steak, a burger or a steak, the main dish should be done well, right? And the Arteon's main dish, the main purpose you buy an Arteon is you want a good daily car. So in that perspective, that steak or that burger is fantastic value for money. It does the daily job extremely well. Great boot space, comfort, it's just a great package. Now, the add-on to it are the fries. Now, while a lot of people don't spend a lot of effort making the add-on nice, this package that's brought in by Volkswagen Malaysia is extremely well. In the sense, the fries, the add-on, has been given a lot of attention to. And the fries is like, it's not like the most amazing fries you tasted in your life and you never forget about it, right? But it's the fries that when you eat with the main dish, it pairs up extremely well, and you know that the chef has put a lot of effort in both the main dish and the side dish, and that's what the Volkswagen Arteon RLine is. A very well executed dish. It's very hard to find fault with the Arteon RLine. It's a fantastic daily car, can have some performance. It's not super thrilling, but like the car won't like fall apart as you're taking it up to Toge or with your friends. So, but is it like super fun, like woo wee rah? No, not that. Not that car at all. If you want that, probably the GTI will do better in that perspective. Can it punch above the weight class twice into the M340i and the C43? Oh yes, I like that feeling. That's when you're a lunatic. Well, the answer is no. The C43 has much more dramatic of an engine and better performance of the engine, and the M340i's X-Drive, and even that one has the M-adaptive suspension in Malaysia. It's just those two cars just triumph over the RLine, so it's nowhere near a comparison. So if I have only one car and it does everything, C300, 330i or the Arteon RLine. I really like the rear-wheel drive and I'm a big fan of BMW. Used to own BMWs. But the Arteon RLine is such a good package. No doubt the rear-wheel drive setup from 330i is way more fun. But I will still go for the Volkswagen Arteon RLine. It's a great package, you can't fault it. Everything's executed really well. Kudos Volkswagen Malaysia, and I can see the vision of Volkswagen Malaysia moving forward in this car over here. It's going to be a strong competitor, and you know what? If you're going to pick a VW Arteon RLine, you won't be disappointed. And I think with the 3 years free maintenance and also the 5 years unlimited warranty, it's a hard package to me. Double thumbs up for this car over here. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for watching this episode of Thomas Drives. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's also informative. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and also hit the subscribe button if you want more videos like this in the future, more driving vlogs and stuff like that. And I also do documentaries on restoring cars, on also my ownership experiences with my cars. All of this will be in my channel. If you want more of that, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of the content in the future. And also, yeah, I shall see you in another episode of Thomas Drives. Till then, love you guys. Thanks for watching, and keep it 100%. Peace out.